What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today we'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for NIO with the ticker symbol NIO. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. So I look at NIO twice a week, every Monday and Wednesday. So let's take a look at what happened since last week, Wednesday. You can see that price did move up higher towards this trend line that I drew. Looks like Friday we did see a break of it, and even Monday looks like we're closing outside of it. This might be close enough where we can probably adjust the trend line and still consider it as resistance. However, this is already getting pretty wide, so we might be already seeing a breakout of the trend line. So I'll leave it right here. If we are seeing a breakout of this trend line, there's a good chance we might see higher prices, maybe even a gap fill right over here. There's a huge gap on the chart. To fill that, price would need to reach the 1028, 1029, and maybe a retest of this breakout point right over here at the mid $10 level also, because that's where price was trading for the most part before we saw the huge drop. So if we do see higher prices, those would be my two targets. Since price is still below the EMA, there's still an opportunity to reach the mid sevens. Price did reach the high sevens, but I'm looking for the mid sevens because that's where the strong support is. That's where that double bottom occurred. So again, if we do see more downside for NIO, I'm not sure exactly where it's going to go in the short term because it's not really that convincing of a break of this trend line. Some might say that we could still be within this downward trend line because we're barely closing outside of it. So that would mean the bear's momentum is still intact and we could see more downside, especially because we're below the EMA. However, you can also see that price did break it somewhat. So are we going to see another leg up? Maybe something like this before a drop. So all this is one leg up. Market generally moves in twos. Are we going to see the second leg up starting tomorrow? Right to the $10 level? Well, that's a possibility also. So I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I'm not expecting anything crazy by NIO. Even if we do pull back like we're doing right now in this downward trend, we could still see a strong move down towards the mid sevens because we could be facing resistance from these prior support levels. So again, NIO still in bearish territory, even if we do see a pullback. If we do see a pullback, then I'm expecting the mid $10 level. That's where the gap fill can occur from. If we see a break of that, then that shows a shift in market structure, and maybe we are looking for a trend reversal to the upside. So if something changes like that, then we could see much more higher prices. However, if price pulls back not that strong, something like this, like a wave pattern, that signifies more downside because that would be a correction. But if price does continue pushing up higher through that mid $10 level, then there's a good chance it can reach the 13s and maybe even a breakout. So again, just depends on what the market wants to do at the end of the day. As right now, this is still bearish territory, and we can still reach that mid $7 level. So again, NIO, overall still bearish. Short term is really hard to call if we're going to see higher prices or just continue lower from here. But overall, still in bearish territory. But again, like I said before, if we do see higher prices, those are my targets, the mid $10 level and the gap fill. And if price does continue lower, I'm still looking for the mid $7 level. That's the target to the downside. And again, let's see how this develops. I think the market is looking like it wants to move up higher, but it can also just as easily move down lower. So again, this is in a very precarious situation right now. And I think, we just have to wait and see how this develops. So that's all I have for NIO. Not exactly sure where it's going in the short term. It's leaning both sides actually. Over here, it was easy to call this all the way to the mid sevens the whole time because I knew there was a good chance of reaching it. But now since we're so close to it, well, we don't have to reach it exactly. This might be close enough for price to reverse. So we are seeing somewhat of a bounce. Again, if we see another leg up tomorrow or in the next coming days, looking for the low 10s to the mid 10s. If we don't get there, we start collapsing back down still, we're still below this EMA, then the mid 7s is acting as a magnet. Now, that's everything I have on the daily chart. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart. Here is the weekly chart for NIO. Last week was pretty bullish, so that's a good sign for the bulls. If we do see a break above, I think we could see continued momentum to the upside. So again, this is maybe slightly leaning more towards the bulls side in their favor, but who knows? We'll have to see at the end of the day. So that's all I have for NIO. Either way, if we go up or down, this is still in bearish territory, and NIO would need to do a huge move up to be bullish once again. Right now, it's still likely we go lower even if we do see a short-term move up higher. So live for NIO on the daily and weekly charts, and I'll most likely give you guys an update this week Wednesday. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.